The Qin Dynasty was not only the first dynasty, but lasting 15 years, it was also one of the shortest. King Yingzheng, or qinshihuang, was the first emperor of China. He destroyed all rival kingdoms, constructed the terracotta warriors, built much of the Great Wall, and established an empire. He achieved all this through a powerful army and the rule of law. But the life of an ordinary Qin Dynasty citizen was mostly unrecorded. That was until one day when a group of diggers in 1975 stumbled upon a tomb. It was the resting place of Judge Xi. While not a famous man, what makes him remarkable is that he was buried with an entire library of legal documents detailing the crimes and punishments of the Qin people. This is a brief look at legalism.
These are their stories.
Before we begin, we should understand what exactly legalism is. Belonging to the 100 schools of thought, it was created by Lord Shang and further refined by Han Fei. Legalism is a philosophy which is almost the exact opposite of Confucianism. Confucian theory believes that we must observe traditions and diligently respect the past. It also promotes that all men are essentially good, and that through correct cultivation and by listening to his advisors, a leader can become a sage. Legalism, on the other hand, promotes that all men are born evil and can only be encouraged to do good through reward and intense punishment. It also states traditions are not useful for the running of a modern society. Western legalism is generally viewed as the creation of law by the people for the people. Chinese legalism is viewed as the creation of laws for the good of the king and the kingdom. For the first time in Chinese history, clearly defined and written law was distributed to the common people. This was achieved thanks to the simplification and standardization of the Chinese writing system called the Lesser Seal script. Everything from currency to road width became standardized under the Qin rule. And, as everyone now had access to the laws, they were expected to not only follow it themselves, but also make sure that those around them did too. The court cases showed that people who did not report suspicious activity were punished, and those who falsely reported a crime would receive a punishment equal to the reported crime. For the people during the time of the Qin, it was a life of unease, having neighbors and family members being required to spy on each other or face severe discipline. Police work and forensics of this time were also surprisingly advanced. In one case, a thief tunneled into a house to steal some clothes, but was ultimately captured thanks to witness profiling and his footprints left at the scene of the crime. It wasn't a perfect system though. All crimes required a culprit, and many people were tortured into confessing, even if they didn't actually do it. Even suicides required someone to be punished. But what's more interesting than the crimes are the punishments. The lightest punishment is of course a fine. This would usually be paid in armor rather than money to help support the Qin's huge army. The next penalty would be demotion and loss of land. After that was mutilation, which involved blinding, getting tattooed, castrated, or having one's nose cut off. Mutilated and crippled criminals were sometimes sentenced to the job of palace watchmen, where it was their job to secretly open doors and curtains and remain hidden from sight. Unsurprisingly, one of the most common penalties was execution, which came in a variety of flavors. Beheading was the vanilla of executions. After that, it was being cut in half. And then it was being drawn and quartered. And finally there was dishonorment, which involved receiving all punishments before finally being executed. For serious crimes, the criminal's entire family or even whole community could be sentenced to death. But we cannot forget about slave labor. Countless criminals and captured enemies were sent into the deserts and snowy mountains to spend the rest of their lives working on structures like the Great Wall of China. While the punishments were extreme, for the first time in Chinese history, they were equal and applied to everyone, regardless of rank. It was a meritocracy, meaning you had to earn your position. In the past, feudal lords would receive taxes from their peasants and then give a small percentage to the king. Under the Qin rule, lords were replaced with government officials, and all profits went directly to the kingdom. However, poor citizens could now earn a plot of farming land by joining the army and help conquering new kingdoms. These two changes helped fund the Qin expansion and cement the emperor's power. The Qin dynasty is truly a remarkable time in history. On the one hand, it was one of the first bureaucratic societies. On the other, it was cruel to the point of fascism. But it was under the Qin rule that China, for the first time, became united. The Qin dynasty was quickly followed by the Han dynasty, which pretty much copied the legalist system word for word. While future dynasties tried to follow more traditionalist philosophies and demonize legalism, the truth is that much of their government structures were based on legalism. Even in modern history, Mao Zedong was an avid admirer of Qin dynastic power, proudly stating, "We have buried 46,000 scholars alive. We have surpassed qinshihuang 100-fold." So regardless of where you stand on the issue, the Qin dynasty is an incredibly fascinating period of history, and for better or worse, its influence in China and throughout the world can still be felt to this day. So thank you for watching another one of my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe. If you like this video, why not check out one of my more recent ones? As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm WooKong, and goodbye.